an approval for the award of contract for the provision of training, logistics, operational equipment and maintenance support for government-furnished sites, equipment and personnel under the Integrated National Surveillance and Waterways Protection Solution Infrastructure in Nigeria. And you know that this is also what we call Deep Blue Project. That's the project that the President launched some months ago, either May or June, I can't remember now. In all of it, the contract was awarded at 6,347,967,644 naira 21 kobo, inclusive of 7.5% tax for a period of 2 years. Just important to say that the Cabinet was briefed that there's huge improvement in the security in our waterways now. And we hope that it will continue as we progress. Thank you very much. Why I have a problem with that, I can't tell you. There's a saying in my village is that if the mouth goes to war first, by the time the leg comes, they will arrest the leg. They will capture the leg. I can't tell you what we're doing, but you can see there's an improvement. One of the improvements is that we have what we call rail bus. A rail bus can operate on a track and on ordinary ground. So the job of the rail bus is to be running on the track regularly. Anytime it runs it sees that a train is approaching, to just get out of the track to the road or to the mainland and get back to the track. The essence is to monitor people who have contact with the track at any point in time. So if we had it at the time the Kaduna explosion happened, it wouldn't have happened because it would have passed a few minutes before that train would have come. That's one of them, but I can't tell you the rest. But I can tell you that there was a memo that came to Cabinet. The Cabinet asked us to go back. We returned that memo to the Cabinet, which gives you a surveillance camera of all the tracks as far as Kaduna Abuja is concerned. Thank you. I said when we get the approval, there will be a surveillance camera from the beginning of Kaduna to the end of to Idu. Until they approve it. We already have a project we call the Deep Blue Project. This is more like a recurrent expenditure for the Deep Blue Project. If you stop purchase of petroleum, payment of allowances, and the size that you need to insert cameras and all that, then it won't function. So that's what this seeks to achieve. Everybody knew that the President went to Lagos to launch what they call the Deep Blue Project, which is a national surveillance security project for the waterways. This is just money to fund the current expenditure. That's what we've just done. There's what they call Deep Blue Project, research. The President commissioned it the same day the President commissioned Lagos Ibadan.
No, you say there is huge improvement on our waterways.
Security improvement. That's what I said. And I told you, that's why I said we already have a Deep Blue Project, that is security infrastructure on our waterways. That is the result for which we have had the security improvement in our waterways.
For anchoring the meeting, and to my colleague, thank you for ceding this time for me. I really have to rush off also. Today, we presented to Council for information and discussion the third quarter GDP report for 2021, which was released on Thursday by the Thursday last week by the National Bureau of Statistics. The results shows an improvement from the contraction that we witnessed in 2020. Recall that we had negative growth in Q2 and Q3 2020. And the negative growth we entered into a recession technically and then exited recession by the fourth quarter of 2020. So this report shows that we now have 4 consistent quarters of growth from Q4 2020 to Q3 2021. The GDP third quarter report shows a growth of 4.03% in the third quarter 2021 compared to a contraction of minus 3.62% in the third quarter of last year. So part of the economic activities that were the major drivers of growth within this reporting period is services, which grew by 8.41%, Growth was also in the service sector was largely driven by better performance in the rail transport sector, pipeline sector, air transport, financial institutions, road transport sector, water transport, as well as trade. Agriculture also grew by 1.22%. This is a slight dip compared to the 1.3% in the second quarter of 2021, and the reason for the dip has to do with a slight slowdown in agricultural activity in some parts of the country due to security. The growth in agriculture that is reported in this quarter is largely driven by crop production. Industry also, the growth in industry has been consistent, but we have seen a slight slowdown compared to the last quarter 2021. And the contraction of the industry is driven by the poor performance of the crude oil and natural gas sectors, coal mining, quarrying, minerals, as well as oil refinery. The Q3 GDP report indicates that the oil sector's contribution to the GDP today stands at 7.49%, while the non-oil sector contribution to the GDP stands at 92.51%. This indicates that the Nigerian economy is truly very, very diversified, with the oil sector contributing just 7.49%. So factors that are responsible for this growth include the commitment of the government to the continued containment of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the implementation of fiscal and monetary measures to support businesses contained in the economic sustainability plan, and also the improvement that we've witnessed in the rail transport sectors, pipelines, air transport, road transport, as well as water transport, and improvement also in the transportation and in the free movement of people as well as goods, as the containment measures have largely been really improved. We've seen also improvement in the financial services sector with higher supplementary incomes compared to 2020. There's been improvement in electricity generation and distribution during this quarter, as well as improvement in water supply, sewage and waste management, and remediation activities. There is also indication of higher trade activities, which has significantly improved compared to 2020 because of the containment measures that slowed down trade significantly. Also reported is the inflation numbers for the month of October 2021 at 15.99%. This is consistent with the growth that we have, with the decline that we have seen in inflation from April 2021 to date. We expect this decline to continue through the rest of the year and also throughout the year 2022. On the other hand, we have seen an adjustment that has been done in the inflation, largely caused by the improvement in the food basket in the inflation mix, and this is largely due to the agricultural harvest, which constitutes 50% of the basket in inflation. But let me say that again, the Nigerian economy is growing, and right now we've witnessed 4 consecutive quarters of GDP growth. And we've also said that we aspire to continue to push this growth to the point when the growth supersedes the growth in our population, because that's the time that people will actually feel the benefits. So we're pushing the bar. At the third quarter of 2021, the average annual growth is now 3.3%. Our population growth is roughly about 3.2%. So we still need to do a lot more for people to feel this. But the fact that the service sector is now in positive territory, it also means that people will actually begin to feel the difference, because that's where it's the service sector that has the first direct impact on people. So it is transport, it is hotel services, air services, health services. When those sectors begin to improve and are turn positive, it counts on people. And also, in the case of Nigeria, because agriculture is very important, the growth of agricultural sector is also important for people to feel the difference, because agriculture employs a large number of people. So at an increased growth rate of 1.22%, we still need to do much more in expansion of growth in the agricultural sector. I think the next set of questions